I told you I'd see you on the next one, and here I am. And as you can see, I got a lot of material surrounding me. So what is the next one? What is the next project that I'm doing? Well, let me talk to you about siblings here. Siblings are great. Growing up, you got kids to play with, you got people to fight with, you got someone who's got your back. That's what siblings are when you're a kid. Then when you become an adult, you get, hey, would you mind building me an entertainment center? So last year I built my sister an entertainment center. I will flash it on the screen for you now. There it was. So, I have 2 siblings. I also have a brother who now, him and his wife want this massive entertainment center built-in thing. We're talking 10 feet wide, 7 feet tall, built-in fireplace, couple cabinets on the sides, some shelves, 2 towers going up. It's going to be epic. But here's the thing. When we first talked about me doing this, I had about a month to do it. And then, and I don't know if I can say it on YouTube without whatever, but that thing that's floating around this earth for the past like 2 years, you know, the thing that has caused fear and panic in many, that caught up to me. So now I've lost 2 weeks. So I have about a week and a half to build the most epic built-in entertainment center-y with fireplace thing ever. And I'm wasting time on this intro. Let's get dusty! Boom! You gotta really love having the small shop set up. Let me explain to you the importance of planning when you're doing something like this. When I do a big project like this, I will lay awake at night for hours trying to make sure that everything is going to go and line up the right way, because when you're working with a pre-built cabinet and trying to fit it to other things, you have to realize how the cause and effect is going to be. So what I'm going to do is the bottom is going to have a 1x4 base. So it's going to sit on a 1x, and you want your facing of your cabinet to line up perfectly with that to make it look really nice. Now you also have a 1/4 inch recess in this panel, so I have to, because I'm building a shelving unit in between the cabinet and the fireplace, so you gotta have, so I'm using 1/4 inch material to fill that panel. But then when I come over and I put the fireplace area in, what I gotta remember is I'm gonna put facing right here, so I want that to sit there. And then you got different thicknesses of materials, so your sides have to be different. So really, what I'm saying is when you're building something like this, is really think about how everything's got to fit together and how you want to height things. Because I also want to have the bottom of the shelf to sit recessed underneath that lip. Just things to keep in mind, things that are driving me absolutely nuts trying to get this together. So this thing is over 10 feet long. So a top for it, I decided to go with plywood top because I got to do some other stuff for that. So to save money, I went with plywood. Now the problem with plywood is standard only comes 8 foot. This is over 10, and I want the seam to be right, kind of hidden where the tower is going to topple off of. So to do that, I'll have really no structural integrity to keep these two pieces that I'm butt joining together to one piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1/4 inch ply and I'm going to router out, and then I'm going to glue that in, and then that should give it some more strength to it. Also going to put a front face. Should be plenty strong. So let's do that. Alright, I got the bottom together. Now I wanted to explain to you what I meant by thinking ahead. So because this all has to come apart later on and then get reinstalled, you want to make sure everything's going to line up right. And you got a lot of weird moving pieces here. So this front trim piece had to cover this back edge piece. So therefore I had to shrink down the actual base it's sitting on to cover that. In doing that, I wanted to make sure that this would line up here. Obviously, it's just setting together, but I had to make sure that lined up there, so I had to watch that gap. And then I had to do, when I put this baseboard on, I had to make sure that it would line up with that. It's all about thinking ahead and how things are going to line up later on, and trying to think it far enough through that you're not going to be dealing with it later on. That's what I'm talking about. So, there we go. So another thing about thinking ahead is I'm building the towers that are going to sit up here. Now, when you're building something like a cabinet or something, and it's going to sit, and you want your backer board on there, if you take your backboard, this is what I would be using, you nail it to the back. If you look, you're going to see that. So what I did is I went through, and I routed out all the backing of it, what you can do after the thing's actually assembled, and then you are going to put your back on there, and you don't see it. So instead of sitting here, it sits in this lip, when it goes against the wall, you don't see it. Thinking ahead. It is assembled. Obviously, it's still not all together because I can't fit a 7-foot by 10-foot piece of this into a house. So it's all gonna come back apart, but it's all together. I have the shelves already together, but they're gonna be stained instead of painted, so I can't install them yet. But it is party time, and I'm not gonna really bore you with a whole lot of that. I'll do a little bit. Original plan was to spray all this stuff and get it a little cleaner finish and everything. Problem with it is that my sprayer, you have to really thin it down and put a lot of coats on it. And because I'm kind of pressed for time, we're going brush and roller. Alright, let me give you a little update here. We're 2 days away from the install. And if you watched my walk-in closet build, you'll know that doing a big project in a small shop can get pretty rough. So, as you can see, I got the top on the, well, countertop thing on the ground there. Got the cabinets there, boom, over here, and some stuff sitting over here. What I'm saying is it gets a little tight. 2 days away from install. Obviously, I got it stained. I got the first coat of poly on all of the shelves and the top part, and I got everything's been primed and 1 coat of paint. Using a good paint, hoping I can get away with 2 coats of paint. That would be, because then I still have to try to assemble this thing up. While I assemble it, I got to put the shelves in, and then we're gonna have to install. So I got 2 days. Just want to give you an update. Now I gotta wait for this to dry and do everything that I just did all over. We are less than 24 hours from the time that I have to install, and I don't have any extra time after that. Everything has went decent. Things are still drying. Got the shelves installed. They were turned out really great. Got the fireplace installed-ish. So when I was doing this, on building this, I didn't have the fireplace. So I went online. I looked at their rough dimensions for their opening. I made it to those rough openings. I actually gave myself a little bit extra, about an 1/8 inch extra. Their rough opening dimensions were insanely stupid. So I ended up having to put some more wood in there as a filler because it was way too big. And now we have this slight issue of this seam is now exposed. So the number one thing that I can tell you if you're trying to do anything like this is be flexible and be good on your feet and always have a backup plan. I've never done this before, but I've heard about it and seen it. We're going to use some automotive Bondo. It dries fast and it should work really well because I'm painting over it. If I try to use regular wood filler, it's going to take too long to dry, and I don't have that kind of time because I actually have to have this done tonight. So after work tomorrow, I can go grab the trailer, load her up, and install. So hopefully the Bondo works. Alright, let's put the serious hat on here. So I know that I'm not the best woodworker, builder, maker, whatever you want to call on YouTube. I watch other people's videos. But when I get messages and tags and this makes me feel really, really good. It makes me feel like what I'm doing is worthwhile. So thank you guys for all the support. I want to let you guys know coming up, it looks like I'm going to approach 100 subscribers within the next month or so. Possibly sooner if you guys do your job, but I'm pretty excited about it. And to celebrate that, I do have a special video coming out for that. I have a lot of other videos coming out, so make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you want, head over to my Facebook at Nailed It Custom Builds, and you can see other smaller projects. I do sometimes do smaller videos over there. Now let's jump back to the other side of the shop. Thank you, Serious Me, from over there, but this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and as I proved from last time, I will see you next time.